Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pro11 SEO channel, brought to you by Pro11 and presented to you by me, Z. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at backlinks. Now, backlinks are not something that I've gone super in-depth with because it's not completely my area of expertise, but I have been looking into it more, and I decided, you know what, it's a good idea to come forward and bring this information to the broader public, just in case they also want to learn and find out about this. Now, there are plenty of videos on backlinking, but comparatively to website building with WordPress and SEO, there are far fewer of them actually talked about because the nature of acquiring backlinks is quite hit or miss. Okay, so first and foremost, what is a backlink? A backlink, in its purest essence, is just a link from one website going to another. Okay, that's all it is realistically. Some people call it external linking, but a backlink is simply one website sending a link to another website or linking to another website. What this does is that based on the domain authority, Google is more likely to trust your website the more backlinks that you have. Essentially, the more backlinks or the higher your domain trust or your domain authority is, the more likely Google is to rank your pages on the front page of Google without as much effort in specific niches. Okay, so what does that really mean? Well, let's make an analogy, right? Think of Google as the owner of a club or a house, right? And all the time there are these really great parties going on. This party, in this analogy, is only accessible to the top 10 to 25 websites that Google ranks, right? And there are certain people who are always ranking at the top. YouTube, Amazon, Vogue, Wikipedia, all of these websites, they're always invited because they're always at the top of the ladder. They're always the websites with the highest domain trust and the domain authority. Okay? So basically what a backlink is that your website, you're much smaller, you're at the back of the line, or you're in the middle of the line, and there's no way you're actually going to get to the top. What a backlink essentially does is it's giving you a vouch. They're saying, I'm vouching for this guy, and then Google's saying, okay, you can move up the list. You can move a little bit closer. I'm more likely to trust you. And if you prove yourself, you'll be joining in at the party, or in this case, the first page of SERPs. Okay, so that's essentially what a backlink is. But there is more to it than that. Okay, how does one acquire a backlink? Now, Google is very firm in its belief that buying backlinks is a big no-no. Doesn't mean people don't do it. There are people out there who make an entire living selling backlinks to various websites. They set up link farms, which is really bad. Please don't do that. Called personal blog networks, PBNs, that are super bad for long-term growth, but people do it anyway because they really want to shoot up in SERPs. Okay. Then there's also something called the link toxicity. Basically, if your website has high toxicity, it means Google is effectively trying to pin you down. It is effectively saying, we don't want you going anywhere. You have the plague, stay where you are. We're not going to try to rank you. Sites that associate with you are going to be hurt in their own rankings. Don't come near us. Medium toxicity, which is this over here, right? Basically, what that means is that you're kind of sick. We don't want you around. You're doing some shady stuff, but we're not going to penalize you as heavily, but we're still going to penalize you. Low toxicity means that, okay, so you're like kind of you got a cold, you don't have the flu, but like just we're keeping an eye on you. We're not going to penalize you, but we're going to keep an eye on you because you're not the most trustworthy. And anything that's non-toxic is basically like the average citizen. Okay, good, cool, do what you need to do. Okay, that is in essence how this works, right? So there's something called link juice, but I'll get into that in another video. When a website, let's say I have website A, right, which has really good domain authority, and I want to do what is called a link exchange with website B. Basically saying, you'll write a piece of content for my website, I'll write a piece of content for your website, and we exchange because we like ideas or in the same niche. Kind of like two YouTubers doing a crossover or a shared sponsorship, right? So domain A sends over a do follow link, right? So links come in various forms, but primarily follow, no follow. Okay. So what follow means is that Google will actively, when it's searching for this, follow that link to the new website and see, okay, these two websites are linked, they're sharing content, we can push the lower rated one a little bit up in our trust rating. Okay? And it's basically an all for one for the smaller guy, while the bigger guy might just have the chance to get some fresh content onto the website in a niche they're not really in. And this is predominantly how things work on the internet. Everything is interconnected. And because of that, backlinking is actually one of the most important parts about growing your website effectively, because the more what we call organic backlinks you have of people just referencing you, of talking about you, about seeing you, it can really, really grow your website. For those of you that are old enough, you remember many, many ages ago when every YouTuber used to have their own website because it was just really good and really monetizable for them. Okay, this over here is just to give you an example of why we're on this page. This is SE ranking. It's a tool that I use to check the general backlinking health of various websites. As you can see here, it gives us the total number of referring domains, basically how many unique domains are going towards us, the total number of backlinks we've had, okay, over the like 1 week, 1 month, all of that, lost and a referring domain. So basically, how many domains have we found? How many domains have we lost in comparison to how many we've gotten on this website? All right. New and lost backlinks. You can see here. So we haven't lost a domain, but we've certainly disavowed and lost some links. All right. And then the top domain are anchors, right? So anchor text is basically where in this content is that link placed, right? So anchor text refers to, like, if I say text here, and I link from here to that website, that's going to be the anchor text. Okay. In general, that's a good overview for backlinks. They're super important. They're super difficult to get organically, but there are ways of you doing it without breaking Google's terms of service. Do not use what is called personal blog networks or PBNs because they're good for short-term growth, but then Google marks your website as botting and you get shut down. Ensure that if you are doing any sort of guest posting in that you do a link exchange, and that if you are being sponsored by somebody, you mark the sponsorship as a no follow. Google specifically, I'm so sorry, specifically prohibits the use of buying and selling of backlinking and using monetary incentive to get backlinks because it can damage the overall ecosystem of the internet. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. I hope this is informative. I hope this was insightful. I will see you all tomorrow.